sailing rugby player.
Yep, that's correct. The challenge that's put in front of you, and you have different challenges in that some of them are one-on-one challenges, some of them are challenges as a team, but all of them are, you have to overcome what's put in front of you, and you have to challenge yourself and to try and be better than the person or the team that's in front of you. And those two things, they're very similar, rugby and sailing. One of the things is always around attention to detail. It's about making sure that you're doing the best that you can in that moment. You have a limited amount of time to train, so you need to focus when you train, and you need to be in the moment and not thinking about lots of other things. You get 10 opportunities to practice a line out. You've got to try and make sure that every one of those opportunities is taken. That somebody's not just missing a lift, or somebody's not missing a throw, or somebody's got the wrong movement. No, everybody needs to be focused and thinking about what they're doing. So it's that attention to detail and focus that is all part of the mindset of being a top quality rugby player. Instinct is definitely there. I think you have to have processes. You have to have understanding, and you have to have process, because you're working as part of a team. So your instinct might be something, but it might not relate to what everybody else is doing. So there's got to be underpinning systems and processes, but instinct will also have a part to play at different times in the game. I think rugby's had a huge impact on my life. It's provided me with a career that I would never have been able to predict. It's enabled me to travel around the world, and probably more important, two things. It's really provided me with a passion around something that really means a lot to me. But I think it's also, one of the other things that it's really given me is a huge network of friends, of people that I've met through rugby that would never ever have met otherwise. And and a number of those people I would now call my best friends, that I would never have met otherwise. I think what rugby teaches you, I genuinely do think that rugby teaches you some core values, or helps to shape some core values. That whole sort of discipline, the teamwork, respect, are really, you have to understand those to be involved in the game, and I think they are threaded through the whole of the game. I think you top those up with teamwork, with enjoyment, and I think it just gives you that sense of value and purpose. Freedom is independence. Freedom is being able to make your own choices. Freedom is having the ability to do the things that you want to do in the way that you want to do them. There's always constraints in some things, particularly when you're working as a team, but it's a choice to be part of that team, and it's having the ability to make choices. And I think that's probably the best way of describing what freedom is. I mean, there's another type of freedom that's just being outside, and that's part of the freedom that sailing gives you, which is just being outside, being in nature. But actually, I think the freedom in this sense is around the ability to make choices. Give people the tools, and you do the exercises that mean that players on the pitch need to make decisions. So that's the key piece, that training is around people making decisions. It's not about, as a coach, all of the decisions are made for you. So I think that's one element of it, but it's also about involving players in the processes, in the what lineup options are you going to use on that day? What does the game plan look like on that day? And it's bringing players into that conversation, so that everybody has an input into that conversation, and that gives people ownership. So I think there's a piece around that freedom is where people have an ownership of things. What rugby teaches you is a set of values, and I think those values transcend into daily life, and we've talked about those. But I also think you end up with a skill set that's transferable. That you end up with a really as an employer, if you were employing a rugby player, you end up with a really focused, dedicated individual with really good commitment, teamwork skills, leadership, the ability to prioritize and deliver against targets. I suppose one of the things that I've got that have played a part in my life over the last few years is I've had a number of dogs, and I've got one dog at the moment. So one of the things that's really I think relevant to me. So the object is a picture of one of the dogs, and the dog's Tilly. And I think the reason it's important to me and part of, I think, so special to me is because of what Tilly ultimately means to me. And the type of dog she is, and all her qualities are something that I think are really important. And I think important to me, and I suppose I think how I want to be seen, I suppose. In that she's loyal, she's obedient, she's well behaved, she's pretty laid back most of the time. But the picture is actually of her sitting in the middle of a puddle, very muddy, because actually she can be quite naughty and a little bit obsessive. So it just sums up how she is, and how I think that probably I think are really important qualities.
Ciao Tilly.
Jim Telfer, when he was talking before the first Lions test, it's called his Everest speech, and there's a line in it that says, "No one's going to do it for you. You have to find your own solace, your own drive, your ambition, your own inner strength, because the moment has arrived for the greatest game of your life." And I think for me, it's that piece that says, this is about you doing it. You know, you have to find your own drive, your own ambition, your own inner strength, because nobody does do it for you. It is about what you do. It is about what you do for yourself.
One rugby.
One love.